if you only have the one. Like it's trying to compensate. Kind of like how when somebody's thyroid's dying, they get a big old fat goiter where it's just going nuts trying to.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
A goiter. That's like when your
big old bulbous.
When your neck is all necky. Mm-hmm. I only have one testicle, so that's what they told me is that when you have one testicle, because I lost mine in a motorcycle accident.
Okay.
And I was just like, so what does that mean? And they're like, oh, basically, the other testicle grows to compensate, and you don't lose any testosterone. Because it's like, so I have to take testosterone, right? They're like, no, you don't. And the other one will just grow in size and compensate. So whoever your buddy is that said that is probably telling the truth that they only have one nut. It's a good way to verify, you know?
Right. Yeah, and it makes sense. Just what I.
Oh my god, I forgot one thing. Let me just double check real quick.
Sure.
We can keep talking about testicles, though.
Balls.
Does it say? Okay, cool. We'll just leave it like that. I was gonna, in the last one that we did, I had little name tags.
Oh, yeah?
In the last one, but...
Oh.
So your name is Travis Cairns.
It is, actually.
We just did comedy at Four Swords Tattoo.
Mm-hmm. That was pretty dope.
Tell me how your experience was.
Well, I gotta say, it was pretty great. I appreciate the invite. Once I actually got there. But yeah, the guys there, artists doing their thing, cross-pollinating with us. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because us going there and telling jokes, getting tattooed, whatever.
Did you see the tits at the start?
The tits?
Yeah. Shannon and her friend flashed us through the window at the very start of the show.
Oh, that's why they were laughing.
Yeah, they whipped out their tits.
I was kind of in the zone on that one. I'm a little depressed now because regardless of whose they are, whatever.
I have it on camera. I was filming the show, and I guess I have Shannon Foster's tits on film now.
Yep. The foster child herself.
Yeah. No, that's fun. Your set was good. That was fun. People, we had. I kind of threw the show together last second, but we do typically have, gratefully, we typically have a good amount of people that show up to the Four Swords Tattoo show because it's just so gimmicky.
It's becoming a thing, yeah.
Yeah,
and it's a thing that's more than one thing, and who doesn't like a thing that's more than one thing?
Exactly. And we haven't really had bad comedians up over there. In fact, the comedians that come to town really like it. Whenever they're coming through, they're like, you got to do this Four Swords Tattoo show. But I really had fun tonight myself. I thought it was fun. Really glad you made it out because we had 2 comedians drop at the last second.
I thought it was something like that.
Yeah.
Whenever you hear, hey, can you bring somebody? It's like, ooh, something happened.
Yeah.
Especially when it's if it's within 24 hours of a show, it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
It's hopefully everybody's all right.
Which is crazy, right? Have you performed outside of town that often?
A little bit. I've only been doing this a few years, and then last year I've gotten a lot of little gigs, opening for people in different places.
Yeah.
Mostly. So I've been invited to things and not able to go because of work, working seasonally on the ocean. You can't you're dependent on the weather.
Yeah.
So it's oh, can you show up such and such a date? I'm like, we'll see.
So you're referencing you do you're a commercial fisherman for crab?
Primarily these days. We could chase some tuna. That's an open market kind of thing. But we have permits for shrimp, which has been an absolute hassle due to regulations in California. It's made it very difficult for companies to operate in California. So unless you have an Oregon permit, it's really difficult to pull that off anymore, which is a bummer because there were about 10 years there where hardly anybody fished. My dad used to come down here to Eureka all the time. I've unloaded boats in Eureka and stuff when I was a high schooler, back before you needed a license to do that. Right. Huh. Yeah, and so, but yeah, it's been a thing, family business, all that stuff. My dad bought the boat from my grandfather, and it's still in the water. 70-year-old boat with a 50-year-old motor, and it actually runs better than it did 20 years ago.
I saw this boat on Craigslist. It's a 20-foot, and it's just just a big boat that you can take out on the water that you imagine a dad going fishing with, or a few friends drinking beer and just hauling in it, and it says that the motor's all messed up or whatever. You got to fix the motor, and the trailer needs some wheels put on it. But it's like the boat looks fine. It looks like a good boat. What's with that? Like, are boats really difficult to upkeep? Why is someone giving away a free 20-foot boat that looks nice?
There's an old saying: a boat is a hole into which pours money. Right. So it's like if you want to buy a decent sized commercial fishing boat, like 2-3 times that size, you're looking at $5,000 to $10,000 in bills a month, whether you're working or not.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a business, and it's you've got permits, you've got slip fees, you've got all kinds of little things, bait bills, paying the crew, obviously. I mean, it's a heck of an undertaking, and these days there's been more and more regulations because of you've got international waters, you've got state to state things, you've got the fact that it's food, and then some of it is bait. But there's gray areas, like we actually had some bait this year that if there were fish that were caught, but they were a little bit too small to make proper fillets out of. So they sold us stuff that, if fish was an inch longer, like you'd be in the store, you'd be buying it and cooking it at home. And here we are whacking them in half, throwing them in bags and chucking them in crab pots and trying to catch some bugs with them.
And so that's like, they don't want you to take them home for sale because of that. And they're like, the idea of the law is that you return it to the water to create a larger stock of fish to later be caught, right?
It's recouping things. Like they're going to sell the fillets at high dollar. You know what I mean? Because they're middlemen. Middlemen make their money getting it cheap from us, and then selling it to the stores that sell it to the consumers, right? And so if they can't make a decent enough looking, a decent enough product, well, you recoup some of your money by selling it back to the guys who you're buying. You know what I mean? Buying stuff from to sell to other people. It just makes good sense. Where it's like, even if I can't sell this for $10 a pound to some rando, we could still sell it for a few bucks a pound to a guy who's out trying to catch some bugs that are worth X amount. You know what I mean?
And for the layman, bugs is crabs.
Bugs is crabs. Crabs is bugs. They is sea bugs.
How's the crab season going this year?
Oh, it's done. That's actually one of the reasons I'm able to be down here is we're putting the gear away. We stacked out. Basically, this year was a weird one. Towards the end of last season, there were some signs. There were a lot of little guys around. We're like, well, these guys grow up, we'll do pretty good. And I'm not sure what it was. We've had delays. I think it's something like 6 out of the last 7 years, where 1 year it'll be, somebody saw a whale in the Bay Area, so we have to. They might be breeding or something, so we'll got to delay it for a month, or the crab aren't ready. They don't have enough meat in them, and so they have to be a certain percentage. And like, it's not 25, it's 24.6 or 24.4. If it was 24.6, we'd let you go. You have to wait another 2 weeks before we can test again, and then after the test, then we'll see if you can go.
Yeah.
And so that could happen over and over. So we've been on paper, we would start on the 1st of December every year with a 3-day pre-soak. We haven't set gear in November or December, like I said, maybe one time in the last 7 years. It's weird being up in northern north, like up by the border, basically, California. I think they're trying to make it a separate zone now, because we would get lumped in with basically stuff north of the Bay.
Yeah.
And then sometimes things happen in the Bay. Like there was a video a couple of years ago of a whale not getting caught in crab rope. Right. It ran into some and just kind of wiggled its way loose. And people there's a video of them struggling for its life, and
So you're not a whale guy.
Right next to, well, I know. I honestly, the reason that we're seeing them so much is because they're doing better. Many of them. There's a little bit of a disconnect between, like, say, the scientist and then the politician, right? Between the fisherman and then the consumer. Everybody's got different information, and some of the information is manipulated, of course, for different reasons. Somebody might manipulate stuff because they want to go fishing, then they don't care. They don't care. They would like to go for any price because they need to be done at a certain time to go do something else, and so they might screw over some of us who are operating differently. And then of course there's politicians who want to get reelected, and they live in big blue cities in California. And us in these rural areas who, have jobs where we're harvesting things and this and that, they want to protect the environment. And I totally get that. And I am a kind of person who does too. Local tribal, we've done massive amounts of work on the river to get the salmon back, and took the dams out. And there are salmon that my cousin, who's the director up there of that entire friggin' side of things, she with her own eyes saw salmon spawning further up the river than they've been in over 80 years.
Yeah.
It was funny too, because it was 2 dudes and one hen. So I'm like, oh, cuz you got to watch a threesome happen, huh?
Yeah, and then like they lay egg clutches that are like sort of remotely, like that's got to be weird. Could you imagine humans having that sort of an evolutionary pathway where it's like, hey, she just blew her load over there, let's go and put stuff on it. Wow. Do you think they even like look back at the female fish like, you seeing this, like
oh man, it's wild. Well, like I was talking about earlier about watching National Geographic stuff, all these animals getting on it. That Smashnational Geographic's a thing. I think, there's always competition, but I think in that case they're just kind of like first one ready to go, man. Let's just do this thing, because you think I talked about this. I used to do a bit about this, because it's like, can you imagine? You spend your whole life you're a little baby in the river, then you go out in the ocean and you bulk up, you hunt, you eat whatever, and it's all for this one go. It's like, you imagine living your whole life just to jizz yourself to death. And you know what I mean?
I feel like that every morning.
Right. Yeah. Jizz myself to death.
Dude.
Yeah.
So like that's interesting. I always my dad, my family, we were all fishermen and stuff. I used to teach fishing merit badge counts. I was a fishing merit badge counselor at a summer camp, and I always did freshwater and fly fishing. You can't fly fish out on the ocean. That's a completely different kind. I'm so scared of the big openness of the waves and stuff. That's just like, it just looks. Does it get to you?
We call those don't tell mom days. For a while there, the crew was my dad and my younger brother and myself, right? And my parents have no other children.
Yeah.
So, poor mom at home with like us knuckleheads out there. And there's been days where it's like, oh, it's going to be pretty funky, we're going to have to throw the poles down and this and that, because, it's going to be a 20-foot sea and blowing 20 miles an hour, and then you get out there and it's worse, like way worse. And you're out, you got to just deal with it.
Don't tell mom.
Don't tell mom. So you're in this roller coaster, just this insane sine wave of 30 feet up and then 30 feet down, 30 feet up, 30 feet down, about every 10 to 20 seconds, depending on what the swell is doing. Sometimes you have cross swells where it's okay, maybe it's an 18-foot swell. That's nasty, but not horrible. But then, there's a 10-foot swell going the other direction. And you just feel like you're in a freaking washing machine the entire time.
Oh my God.
There's a hilarious one where the boys got off the boat. I wasn't on the boat that year. And they went to this little dive bar that used to exist in town and got kicked out immediately, because they're like, I know how much you drink. If you're walking like that, you must be shithoused. Get out of here. You know what I mean? And it's like that. No, they had sea legs so bad from getting spanked for hours, Oh God. No, it's a thing. Here's the creepy bit. When you're in the big waves like that, we're in a 58-foot boat. It's not huge, and you'll be in the house, right, where you feel safe. You got a roof and walls and stuff and windows, right? And you look out that window, and half of the time, all you see is the ocean, because it's taller than the boat, the size of the waves you're in the middle of. When you're in the bottom of that thing, you're in a fishbowl. And it is creepy as hell. And it's hard to describe to people till you've been out there. And then, of course, we're working, right? So you're riding this wave, right? And you're out there, if you're running block, you have a bamboo pole with a metal hook at the end, and you're trying to grab that buoy as you go by. Yeah. So skipper's up on top of the boat in the weather. He doesn't have a extra house built up there.
Yeah.
Right? Which is one of the guys, some of the guys respect that. Because they're like, they see the captains and they're like, comfortable things with their, I'm going to talk with my hands smacking stuff.
You're good.
They're in their comfortable little houses built on top of the boat or whatever. And they got heaters and things and whatever, sipping their coffee. And you're out there, it's blowing 30 miles an hour. You got your hood on, you're getting pelted with hail. Hail in rain gear is a lot of fun because it's so loud. From me to you, we'd have to be shouting at full volume to hear each other.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
believe you.
And then you got this heavy hood on, and then maybe like a hoodie hood underneath of it. So if I face this way, you're, I have to face you, and then it's like funneling the sound. Oh my god, it's such a. And the whole time you're getting pelted, it's loud. You get your face sandblasted. You come off just all pink and beat up at the end of the day. But because he's out in the shit with the fellas, people respect that. And they're like, I will work for a guy who will be out there in the weather with us.
Yeah.
And enduring crazy stuff.
It's sort of like any other hard job where it's like the people who, like, yeah, like it will be a hard day. It will be rainy. It will be nasty. Mm-hmm. And then there's some people who are like, yeah, I just don't do that. But it's just like the people who do go out there on the Don't Tell Mom days, it's just like, oh, no, I mean, it's not even something we notice. It's just that we're going to go, oh, it's crazy weather. Yeah, unless it's like impossible, which we know when it's impossible, we're not going to take a risk that would kill us, obviously. But some of the stuff that is very normal, like these 20-foot swells, 20 mile per hour winds increased, like you're saying, that's still completely possible. And so you just go, even though it's insane, huh?
Well, at the beginning, when the money's good, because at the beginning of the season, you have good volume. And sometimes if you have a decent price, which is rare, it's a chance to make it like a decent penny. You know what I mean? There's reasons why people go, and then you have the added adrenaline when you're catching. So when you're riding that wave and you're like, you got to hook that thing because you don't want to turn around.
Are you mounted to the boat when you're doing the hooking?
No,
you just sometimes. I mean,
you're hanging over the edge a little bit. I brace my right foot against the dump box and kind of wedge my leg in there myself when I reach over because, say your hydraulic leaks and you've basically got the 1 foot you're primarily leaning on, you could slip, and that's spooky where you catch yourself like at the rail. But we've built up our rails where it's higher and padded and safer. Yeah, because there are guys who work on little boats that have short rails in the back, and literally they have built-in knee pads in their rain gear. They're not allowed to stand up. It's too sketchy.
Jesus.
I would never want to work on a boat that any smaller than the one we're on. And honestly, working on the big boats.
How big is the boat you're on? How long is it?
It's 58 foot, I believe, 58 by 15 or so. Wooden boat. It was actually a seiner built for fishing up in Alaska. Right. It was bought after my grandpa had built a boat. He'd been partners with his brother and this and that. I think one of them bought each other out. I forget exactly. Or they parted ways a little bit, and which is funny because they live next door to each other.
Bet you missed the boat, asshole. Well, fuck you.
Well, he built his own, right? Steel boat. So stressed out, even had a heart attack building it. And the crazy thing was, the first season it sank. I think it was a bad weld or something.
No.
And yeah, everybody lived. It was fine. You know what I mean? That part was fine. But it's like, this boat was bought with like the insurance money for, rather than, so then having like a used boat that had come a really long ways, and it had it had an incident, so which is why it was cheaper. But since
salvage title,
I don't know exactly. I know it had crashed at one point. Oh. We're talking like busted through the hole, had to be fixed. So there's like potential water damage and this and that. But again, 70 years old and we're still using it. We actually came down to the bay here to get it worked on this last year, and have it just like.
Do you do the maintenance too, or do you just hand it off to someone else? Be like, hey, I'm going to the bar. I do the fishing.
We do as much as we can because everything's expensive, man. Like these places, when you get pulled out of the water, they charge you by the foot, by the hour, and say Friday, they go home. You're getting charged for Saturday and Sunday. You know what I mean? So it's like you try to do everything you possibly can, so you're not paying somebody, $85 to weld something on that you could literally just. Bzz,
so that's probably like, how many of those kinds of businesses are there? Is there typically like a monopoly?
There's not very many. Fashion Blacksmith up in Crescent City had this notorious lawsuit where the harbor they're alleging that the harbor didn't dredge well enough so that they could pull boats out and then work on them, which meant that they were missing out on millions of dollars of work, right? Because they couldn't pull boats out. And so they sued based on that. Well, the harbor countersued them. and lost.
Oh.
And so the business isn't there anymore. It's something else now. So if we need to get pulled out, we got to go to Brookings or down here. And down here, we can ride right up. We're a wooden boat, right? Yeah. Metal boat, it's fine with the straps. But you take a wooden boat and you lift it out of the water with straps, inevitably, like you get little spaces and gaps and stuff between the boards where things just don't settle quite right, especially being pulled out and dried and worked on. So it's kind of a crazy thing. It's pretty labor intensive. I helped paint the bottom of it, and we had people do a lot of the more intense stuff, so it's wild.
What about, I didn't hear you mention fiberglass at all. Why is that?
Our boat isn't made of fiberglass. Some are. And some very good ones are. Some ride really well.
Is there a max size you want fiberglass to be before it's just not?
I'm not entirely sure. It seems like you get to a certain size, people tend to go with steel, because you're able to just displace enough air or whatever. They actually, there's a lot of boats that have been sponsored and lengthened. In fact, this one boat, legally, it's the same boat, same permit, transfers. If you keep just the keel, the bit running down the middle, right? That's everything else kind of branches off of. You could literally take everything else. All you have is one strip of metal, the length of the boat. And then you build a new one off of that, and it's the same boat, same name, same permit. And you can make it, instead of being 15 feet wide, how about 24 feet wide?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just make a pig, but same length, so it's the same permit. Yeah. But it's twice as wide. And so now instead of being able to carry like 120 pots on deck, you could carry like all of them, 400 or 500, whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's pretty wild.
Speaking of the pots, and you were talking earlier, I actually forgot to ask. I was thinking about it. So you go to hook the boat, or you go to hook
the buoy,
and you miss sometimes.
Yeah, you have to come around, and that's it.
So you do come around.
You try not to. Yeah. Yeah. You want to just go and you want to just plow, because if it takes a couple minutes, or depending how fast you're going, different people have different blocks that run at different speeds. So
the greenhorn gets his ass kicked when he misses too many.
The greenhorn's not running block. You have to there's spots you have to kind of earn, basically. Yeah. It doesn't hurt to be in a family business. Make some things a little bit easier.
Let's define a greenhorn for anyone who doesn't know what that is.
A greenhorn's going to be somebody who's new, who hasn't done it before. Typically, those people they'll get the jobs like baiting the pots versus packing the pots versus hooking and running the block, the hydraulic lift. Much less captaining a boat and running it. God. There was some guy who, I think he was like an accountant or something, made money. I'm going to buy a boat. He was running a boat, dude, and oh my God. We were following the wake of a boat, and we saw a buoy of ours flow by. We're like, oh no, that sucks. Somebody cut one off. Then another one. And then another one. And then another one. 4 of them. We caught up to this guy. Newbie captain bought my boat. I'm running it. And he's swinging around, and just the wheel is just chopping stuff off. You've seen parts of people's buoys. That thing had to have been full of rope.
He chopped your buoys.
He was chopping our stuff off, running his gear. Yeah.
So then that
rookie captains are bad.
That loses your catch.
It costs us. I mean, those 4 pots. That's between the metal, the steel, the rope, the buoys, the time painting stuff, the time splicing the rope, etc. It's hundreds of dollars per pot.
Yeah.
So that that right there cost us over $1,000, not counting what those pots would have caught.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The opportunity cost. And then the time.
Exactly. Oh, now we're talking macroeconomics. Here we go.
Yeah. Man, you're smarter than I thought you were. That's funny.
I get that a lot.
I don't know anyone who wouldn't be able to appropriately use the term macroeconomics. I took the class, but there's not a damn soul, that I taught. So, what's that guy like? That guy's an asshole. What?
Oh, dude, even his crew is just like, oh my goodness. They don't want to be associated with that because it makes them look bad too. Oh, you're on that boat? Fuck that boat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you get the pirates, the tweakers, the freaking,
They go and take other people's
running other people's stuff. They'll take the pots. A lot of them will just run your gear. Some of them, they'll run your gear and then empty.
What does it mean, run your gear?
Run your gear as in you have a string of crab pots. So they're all thrown out with space in between them. You run one, and you have it spaced out to where when you're done with that one, you drop it off, go to the next one. The string might be 10 pots. It might be 50 pots. It might be 100 pots. Who knows? Depends. And so depending on the area you have that's worth fishing. So some of these guys they'll find your gear, and they'll just look around, nobody's around, or it's in the dark or whatever.
Yeah.
And they'll just steal.
Yeah.
And the problem is it's very hard to go after these guys because it's a different set of laws out on the water. I mentioned all the regulations, so it's like you want to come after somebody, you're going to a special court in like San Francisco. You're not just suing a guy at the regular,
People still do go after people like that, right?
I mean, one of the best things you can do is ruin someone's reputation.
Yeah.
Because reputations take years to build and seconds to lose, right?
Yeah, you're telling me, man.
Exactly. So there are guys who have been caught on camera running other people's gear without permission. Because it's different if your friend's like, oh hey, we found some of yours like lost somewhere, want me to pick them up? Sure, keep the crab in them. You know what I mean? That's just it's a favor. You're bringing them back stuff that's worth a lot of money. They're going to make money with. Go ahead and keep the bugs in them.
Yeah.
So.
I imagine you would want to sneak on their boat and mount a hidden camera.
There were lobstermen over in the East Coast. This was so bad, the running gear. They put UV dye all over their stuff, right? Because they weren't getting these guys. They came in. Did you run our gear? No. On camera, shining the UV light on these guys, and the crew's covered in it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's like what TV show would that be? Like that sounds like.
It was a show. I can't remember the name of it. It was years ago, but yeah.
Deadliest Catch.
There was like an East Coast version where there was lobstermen and stuff. It might have actually been called that. I don't recall.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's wild. There's actually a little old lady who's famous over there. She's in her 90s and works on a boat.
Oh,
and she's all hunched over and she's picking through them, measuring them and stuff, and throwing the bad ones over. And there's this awesome picture where this ancient lady hunched over and she's throwing this must have been small or something, this lobster off, but out of context it almost looks like she's like just summoning it from the ocean.
Yeah.
I mean? It's like, oh man,
I love the footages that you can play backwards, like they play people saving someone from a burning building backwards, so it looks like they're putting them in,
throwing kids in. I've seen those, man. That's wild.
I think I don't think I've ever seen it, but I think it would be funny is surgery videos backwards, where it's like they go and put a bunch of tumors in someone and sew them up. It's like, oh my god, why would you do that?
It's brutal.
Here we go. Yes,
that's better than that guy who interviews and makes fun of martial artists and then fights them.
Yeah,
that guy. He gets one good punch in, like, I'm just gonna loop that.
Yeah.
So
I would love to be really good at martial arts and then like talk mad shit and then fight people. And then I guess that's just Conor McGregor. But like, could you imagine someone's like, this guy doesn't know that I'm like the most supreme martial artist, and it's just like, this guy's talking mad shit on me. He's just talking mad shit. Okay, let's fucking go. And then the guy kicks your ass. You're like, I can't believe I'm really good at martial arts and got my ass kicked. Who was that? That guy's the biggest asshole I've ever met. I hate that guy. Those guys exist probably.
Oh yeah, it takes all kinds. People get into things for different reasons.
Segue. So you got a tattoo at Four Swords Tattoo in Arcata tonight.
I did.
As part of Stand Up Inc., which is our every second Saturday we do a show where comedians get tattooed while they perform. Could you show the camera your tattoo? I guess it might be difficult in that squeakiness. It's like we're in here with SpongeBob.
I know, right?
The episode I'm referencing when he's got the boots and they're always squeaking.
Oh, he's just like a cowboy or whatever?
No, he's got these rubber boots and he's wearing them around the Krusty Krab.
Mm-hmm.
You can put your jacket on right after, too.
I don't know if that'll show, but...
Yeah, describe... I have fuzzy cameras. What are people looking at when they see that?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm also a disc golfer, and so for years I've thought about having a tattoo to kind of commemorate something regarding that. And so I was thinking about my hole-in-ones, which we call aces. And so I got a tattoo of an ace where the center of the card is a disc golf basket with the disc flying in. And on the side here, which is kind of the fun part, I've got 15.
Oh my God, he did those for you. That's funny. You got your notches.
So you've got tallies.
15 aces. That's the coolest thing ever.
Right. And so it's wild too, because, one guy will have 100, one guy will have none.
I have none. I've played plenty. My shoulders are all messed up.
Oh, tell me.
I mean, like after the fact.
Oh, I've lost a step or three. I've on my throwing side alone, injured my hip. and I have old rotator cuff injuries. I thought they were coming back and getting weird, and it turned out no. I've developed a whole bunch of bone spurs and then arthritis on top of it. And so basically, if I play a tournament or something one day, I got to take like a day off before I do anything.
Oh my
It's
god!
just, yeah,
it's still worth it for you. Like,
I'll have a good time throwing stuff at stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, around here, Humboldt, Del Norte, you got to find something to do outdoors, or you're gonna lose your damn mind.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just your physical health, your mental health. It's all tied together.
I used to do a hammer throw with my disc, and it was like very accurate. And like, so I would try a traditional throw, and I couldn't do that. I couldn't do the flick, but I could do the hammer throw at like a major, what would you call it? A major negative impact on my distance. Like I couldn't throw it that much. Like everyone else could throw way farther than me, but
Yes.
the hammer throw would just be perfectly accurate, and that was kind of like what I would just sit on every time, was just trying to do that. And because otherwise it would just slice right or left so far that even if, okay, I got distance into the next hole, yeah, I almost hit that guy, oh, I lost my disc again.
Right.
But like if I could just do hammer throw, it's like I will take having extra throws on my shot. But then when it comes to like my final getting it in the chain, I would hit the chain a lot more often than I would at that earlier time in being able to play disc golf, and I kind of just like took that to the chin, like, yeah, I'll just do that. That'll be easier and better.
It's wild. Like you mentioned the hammer throw. So you're coming from like an ultimate frisbee background, maybe?
No, just like I learned that was one way you could throw it. I'd hold it straight up and down, curve side to this side. I would just throw it vertically and straight, and then it would be like boop, boop, boop.
Yeah. Which is also known as a thumber.
A thumber, okay.
The alternate, when you have it rotated the other way and you're throwing with your fingers in, similar to the forehand grip, but it's over the top, that would be a tomahawk too.
Okay.
There's different names for these things.
I think people called it a tomahawk when I was doing it. Not that they were doing it.
Well,
really
tomahawk's
right
this way, but the thumb inside the rim, that's going to be the thumber. Like actually,
okay,
I got beat at our last big tournament by I'm starting to play in the over 40s because it's like give me the lowest division you can
for the women.
No, dude, no, my shoulder's so thrashed. I can't forehand anymore. I say, hey, I can't forehand anymore. I've only got two hands, guys. Come on, But I know, right? Don't just. But yeah, the guy who beat me was from Mendocino, and he left-handed, older, shorter dude, but he had this killer overhand throw and was throwing lefty thumbers. And so he'd go out and flip, but he would throw insanely flippy stuff. You were talking about the accuracy of your hammer because it flips over. It's one thing I like about the game is there's knowing your body, but there's also thinking, knowing, like doing the calculations. Like how much is it going to rotate depending on how hard I throw it, depending on how flippy it is, depending on the conditions. Is the wind in my face? Is it behind me? Because it's going to alter how much it flips.
Yeah,
one
I
way or the
hated
other.
that part. It'd be like, that should have gone in. And it's like, but there's a slight wind, and that changed everything. It's like,
yeah, and it's never windy around here on the coast. Jesus, yeah.
It's so upset.
But yeah, so this guy had it figured out with he'd throw these super thrash discs up into the sky, and they would flip all the way around, and then stop flipping, and then just pan out like a regular throw, except not being 5 feet off the ground. It's 50 feet off the ground. Way the hell
over.
It pans over, and I'm like, he also lives on the coast. He knows the wind. It's the same wind, and so it was just like, wow, got stomped on my own course. Well, got beat on my own course by an out of towner. And it was, I don't know. But it's good times. It's good times. It's interesting.
It's fun. Yeah. You drink beer while you go out there. That's always what I would do is I'd bring a 6-pack of beer and just hike around, Well,
that's just it. A lot of and a lot of these courses are out in nature and stuff like that. Exactly. And you could relax. It's fairly private,
Yeah.
So yeah, like get the privacy, and that is definitely part of it, especially for recreational. Higher end tournaments, you can't do that. Like there's literally rules against it. So
against smoking and drinking.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. But again, they're not watching you when you're in your car. So
something I noticed a few times is when I would go out and stuff. I mean, most of the times everything's chill and normal, but as with comedy, or I'm sure with fishing, and I'm sure with disc golf, you run into some pretty crazy personalities, Some people have a real nasty disposition, or they'll have a real weird, something they bring to the table that you're like, this is not about that. Like, this is disc golf. I don't understand, or I don't care about what's coming out of your mouth right now. Like, have you ever run into someone who's just absurd out on the links?
Oh man, you definitely get a few characters out there. It's like, it's just so many different kinds. You'll get somebody who is like a absolutely like neurotic, like follow the rules to the 10th degree, and then you got a guy who shows up like stoned as hell with like a plastic bag with big beers in it and freaking, in his flip flops, and he kicks everyone's ass. And
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. It's bizarre. You never know, because you get the old timer who's just like, 3 sheets to the wind and killing it. I heard about a guy down here who was such an alcoholic. He'd be like blacking out on the tee pad. And they'd say his name, and he'd pop up, and just like barely even open his eyes and just rip a beautiful drive down the middle of the fairway. And it's like, how the hell do you do that? And you got the mushroom guys, you got the whatever, you guys wearing radioactive colors and just having a great old time out there.
It's like the Avengers. Everyone's got their superpower, And
Or
like,
I think they do.
If there was an Avenger that's just tripping balls, like Doctor Strange, but on the inside instead of the outside, like,
oh, it's like the super soldiers. Let's pump them up full of stuff and turn them into something else. Like, imagine being that freaking like roided out for, like, how old was Captain America? 100 years old. Pumped full of drugs. I don't know, man. Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, you get these definitely some specialists. You got the guys who look like friggin' Gandalf out there, been playing since the sport popped up and was formalized in the 70s down south, And,
yeah.
We occasionally get those guys moving up here. And so it's really wild to get these old guys just like calling them frisbees, and like we talked about that earlier, pissing off the young. No, they're discs, man. Frisbees made by Whammo. There's 100 companies now, man. You can't call them that. And it's like telling somebody, reminding people that hacky sack is a brand of foot bag.
Yeah.
Who calls them foot bags?
Yeah,
nobody. They call them hacky sacks, so these guys call them frisbees.
Dude, I'm missing my hacky sack right now. That's like my thing that I always bring to the table. And we were doing karaoke the other night, and we're hanging out front of the place. And I pull out my hacky sack. Everyone's hitting it around, and I go in for 2 seconds, and I leave. Or I come back outside, and the person who had it left, and I'm just like, damn it. Yeah. And I know he has my hacky sack. And I don't know about you, but I love hack. I'm not even that great at it, but it's just no one ever breaks one out. But whenever you break one out, it's like you could hand someone a disc, and most of the time they'll do like at least a bad throw, right? But like with hacky sack, it's almost like something that's illegal. It's so taboo to say no to. Like everyone's just like, oh, I guess we're playing hacky sack right now. It's like a game that's so engaging, but it's just like, man, like, if you keys, wallet, cell phone, hacky sack. If you leave with a hacky sack in the morning, and then it's always this moment where like no one, even you don't know that you're going to be in a circle of people, but then the second that there's a circle of people, like not everyone will take your joint if you pass it to them. Not everyone will look at pictures of your kids if you hold them out to them. But if you pull out a hacky sack, you just hold it in front of you, you make eye contact, and go. And you throw it to them every time. I mean, people will
They're at least going to
try. They'll try.
They'll try. They might be like me and have lost massive flexibility on one side and just, my leg does.
Yeah.
My foot doesn't go that high anymore. And throw it to my good leg.
You just give up, even if you're just
a lot of us disc golfers will have one in our bag because it's an excellent warm up for all the little joints and stuff you're about to use. Yeah,
never considered that.
Yeah, I've got one in one of my bags. I always forget it's in there. It's like in the bottom, getting all moldy with like...
Yeah, which is fine because it's on the ground where dogs shit, and you kick it around.
Oh, man.
But there's, I have this, those moments where you're like, this was cool. I remember this one time this happened and it was cool and I was the coolest guy ever. This one time I was at work and I worked at North Coast Horticulture Supply. And I was the warehouse guy. And I was in this point in my life where I really wanted to get fit because I was really fat. And I couldn't bend over. I couldn't touch shit. I couldn't grab shit off the ground.
within grams of my personal freaking record right now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You probably exceeded it, right?
Oh, God.
This is your personal record?
Yeah. Last time at the open mic, Dr. The owner, who's an OBGYN, Dr. Kirk. Yeah, he was there, and I said, "Hey, doc, I'm like, how pregnant do I look? You know, what?" I said, "What trimester am I?" Yeah. And he said 23 months, but I didn't hear the months part. I'm like, Jesus, 23 trimesters. Like, yeah, you've been pregnant for 15 years, you fat bitch. I'm like, damn, bro. I want him to roast me a little, not that hard, but
I was like,
that was funny.
I was at the point where if I dropped my pen on the ground, I had to bend over forwards without bending my knees, and it was just like, I can't live like this. I know that I could, and just my legs were just weak and stuff, and I was just like, I got to make a change, right? And so I did like standing body weight squats as often as possible whenever I could think of it. Bring your butt to the ground. As close as you can bring your butt to the ground, bend your knees, bring it back up, keep good posture in your back. And I would do that as often as possible, grab everything off the ground, like, until I had enough just like core strength built up. And at that point, I was like, now I want to just have all of the time that I spend at work, I want to be working out so that I'm getting more benefit than just like getting paid. And it was the nutrient store, so I was loading soil, lifting buckets of nutrients, like 40-pound buckets of this, or sometimes 65-pound buckets if it's phosphorus, you know, because it's just so heavy. And
I do actually.
Yeah.
I once had a construction job where the new guy got to carry the dynamite and the nitrogen accelerants up the hill. So 700 feet, steep, so steep you have to use a rope sometimes. That was cool. Hey, hand me your lunch.
Oh my God.
Hand me your lunch. Why? Because you're taking this.
Yeah,
exactly. No, I feel you. Yeah, no, it's nice. Like with crabbing, most crab seasons I'll lose like 15 or 20 pounds pretty soon. I am one of those guys who needs to take a little bovine or something once. You know, if we're not going every day, I do get a little seasick. You know, sometimes you add some stuff like before we had the engine work done, you get black smoke out of the diesel, and then like, this bait wasn't as fresh as it's supposed to be. It's like your squid's supposed to be all white.
And you're just done.
It's like purple and just always smell bleach, dead things. I mean, the jar's coming up with this like whatever's in the bottom of the ocean, which everything craps in it.
Yeah.
So you get these all just amalgam of things. And so when I was first on there, I didn't realize certain things like needing to take the antiemetic drug the night before, so it's already in your system when you get up. Yeah. So because then you take it, then it upsets your stomach, and it defeats the purpose. So I was taking it, and it was making me sick. And then I was wearing too much clothes because like, you gotta stay warm. Well, no, once you start working, you're gonna warm up. You want to be a little cold before you start. Yeah. So it is when you're overheating. You know what I mean? It makes everything so much worse. So I'd be out there, and I created a term for this because I'd be working back deck, or another spot yet. And so be working back deck and you're packing pots, we've thrown up until you're dry heaving, and these pots weigh like 100 pounds and you're on a moving platform.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So he carried something that weighs as much as a small woman while the ground's moving and you're literally dry heaving. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that. I call it, I lost 25 pounds the first month I did this. Yeah. Right. And I called it crabolemia.
Yep, yeah. Man, I can't even imagine the smoke. Man, if you're seasick and the smoke gets you, like I have really bad trouble with car sickness.
Man, I used to smoke cigarettes. So I just be in so many smells and stuff. And God forbid you cough up a loogie when you're not feeling good.
Yeah. You're going to puke everything else out too.
Yeah. So, anywho, it's one of those things. But, you figure out ways to deal with it now, hardly ever, like once a year, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, we end up going, it's just, don't drink a couple beers before the night before, you know what I mean? Like some guys can do that, drink coffee, whatever. I'm just like, I just take it easy on the stomach and manage everything and I'm fine. But it took me a while to figure it out.
I just, I'm so worried that if I went out on the ocean, just like, I mean, not that there's just like crazy rogue waves and you're like, I guess that's it that often, which, yeah, sure it happens, but it's like, just the regular, I heard this one story this guy was talking about. They had this thing where they're like dropping something in and it's one and the next and the next and then there's this rope attached to everything and the rope's
long
going
line
in
or something.
Yeah. And just he's looking at the one guy, he's making eye contact and the rope wrapped around his leg and the guy's just like
later
and he's just gone. You're not going to save that guy. He's just gone.
Yeah, because it wrapped him up. Yeah, no, I know. There's a lot of things that can happen. Yeah. Luckily, these pots are a little bit smaller, so like one falls on you, it might mess you up. It's not going to kill you. but if you had a cluster of them where they'd maybe been dragged off by a tugboat or something, I heard about some jerk who was hitting them on purpose. They said he got down here to the bay and he had like 20 or 30 pots and he'd been dragging them so far that they'd been bouncing off the bottom to where like all the rubber was worn off of them.
Jeez.
Just ruining gear just because, they shouldn't be in my lane.
Yeah.
It's not a shipping lane.
Dude, yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean? Why you got to be an asshole? Oh my goodness.
There are just some bad personalities, and I feel like, man, like sometimes people just get, they just get money, or they get, they're just in a situation I'm just never a fan of when people have their emotions overlap into something logical or serious. And then, like, oh, they shouldn't have been in my lane. It's like, okay, like, are we really going to all have to sit down and have a long conversation about why you're stupid? Because you're wrong. You know you're wrong. Now we all have to just walk you back through it because you're just, how you feel? Fuck off, I just...
Yeah.
Can't deal with them kind of people. And then like it happens in comedy though, there's been a few, like I remember this comedian I was talking to earlier this year, we were like doing some gig that was set up. And he's just like, so how much do we get paid? And I'm just like, I really don't know. We're talking to the venue and stuff. And then like a few months go by and I hadn't figured out that answer because the venue is just like, we don't know. It's dependent on ticket sales. And he was like the ride for this other comedian. And so we had the venue and then me and the other comedian that had him booked. And we're just like, all right, so we're going to be heading out. Was he still coming? And then he's just like, what am I getting paid? And we're like, we just don't know, And then he just stopped responding, but he like kept leaving us on red. And it's just like, so do you want to tell us that you're not coming unless you know you're getting paid, or you just stopping talking to us then? And it's just, how many comedians are there? There's so many comedians on the scene, and this guy, just like the way he communicated was sort of like, I'm better than you. And I understand where it could be frustrating, where it's just like, I need to know how much I'm getting paid. That's pretty basic stuff. Yeah. But it's like, if he expects great communication in that way out of us, I feel like he should kind of offer the same level of quality communication when it comes to like, hey, I just really don't think I can do a gig like this,
Even just
being able to say no.
Basic heads up, yeah.
Yeah, and so then it was just like eventually...
I started saying no because like I'm one of those guys where it's like I want to, and so I'll hang on as late until I find out I can't. Again, commercial fishing, we're beholden to the weather. So it's like, hey, can you do this gig, here, this town, whatever. And it's like, maybe I'll try to. And then like you get to a couple days before and it's like, I can't. And it's like, you're hoping, especially like, again, we go hard at the beginning and softer later on. So if you're only out there a couple days a week, you've got all the rest of the week to plan stuff around, other work, you could usually do it at your own time, your own schedule. So it's like, I totally get that. And similarly too, like, a lot of, we get paid more if we catch more. And so, some guys don't want to fish late because the crewmen don't want to fish late because they're not getting paid as much. Owners, if it's still profitable, do you want to keep making a profit or not? You have bills regardless, you know what I mean? So they want to keep going. And so there's always this like back and forth with stuff like that. And so similarly, these guys are traveling around doing their thing, and it's like it's hard to plan out. Can I afford this? Can I afford that? Which is why I think we all just need to like develop more swag. I'm thinking about like stuff to be funny because like sometimes I talk about the like the Momoa thing. You see me do that. Yeah,
you didn't do that joke tonight.
I didn't. Yeah,
I was surprised. It was like, do the thing. You're not doing the thing.
I know. Man, I got random things I've been doing, but yeah, the whole back when I had better hair and said, oh, he looks like it. Dollar store Momoa, and I'm like, no, Timu Momoa sounds cooler.
Timu Momoa. I've been called Dollar Store Chris Pratt.
Oh, yeah,
that's my thing.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah. But yeah, that's and again, I need to start working out. Every time maybe that's part of it. As I get like chubbier and older, I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know, man.
Dude, my shoulders have been so messed up. I can't even like lift them up, and I've never had shoulder problems. But my biggest gripe is that I used to lift tons of weights and have like big arms. And that was my thing. It's like, oh yeah, I'm fucking huge. And then like I haven't been working out lately, but there's something. I think I like compressed a disc in my neck or something's not right. And now both my arms are just like, where? I can't do anything. And I went to grab a drink off the table. It's like, no, you can't. You have to walk up to the drink and hold it and then use your chest muscles to lift this stuff because whatever's going on here, unhappy. Both sides of my arms. So I go to sleep on this side. No. Go to sleep on the other side. No. It's not happy. It doesn't want.
100%. Like I said, I put all these sports and this and that, the rotator cuff injuries, etc.
Can't it just go away?
Oh man,
I want it to go away.
I'm actually probably going to get scoped this year. Go in there and get the
the rectum.
Probably I'm that age too, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Where it's every time you have like a weird, dookie day, it's kind of like, oh, do I have polyps?
Yeah. What do you think? What describes weird? Like you feel peanuts or
completely different things? Like so like your pattern changes. You go from like a one normal one a day, unless you did something weird to yourself that makes sense, to like a whole bunch. I know this younger guy who had massive polyps, had to have them dealt with.
Saw them yourself.
Huh?
Saw them yourself.
No. He worked on the boat. I keep getting these guys working for me talking about how they shit. Yeah. This one dude, I swear to God, every day, like, oh man, today it was like a little swirl, like a little swirlies going around the whole thing. I'm like, I don't need to hear this, bro. Oh man, today it was. I'm like, shut up. It's coming out like silly string. I don't care.
It's coming out like silly string.
Glad you're keeping it tight, bro. But that's got nothing to do with me.
What would that mean?
But this other guy, he was in his early 20s, and he freaking he had polyps. He was shitting 17 times a day. 17. That's a little abnormal.
Voluntarily.
It wouldn't completely clear out because things were blocking stuff on the way. So you had to go over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
I know this one guy. This is on the same subject. Super quick story, but it's a story. He was this guy. He used to be kind of a bully to me in school because, as I said, I was really like unfit. And this guy was like the huge dude. And we were friends with same friends and stuff. But like, when you bully people in high school, you kind of act out in ways that like you're not even trying to act out. It just feels like it's your job to fuck with some people, And this guy used to fuck with me. And I forgive him and we're chill. And it's like, oh my God, that's so stupid we ever did that. But basically he comes out here to California. I'm from New Hampshire and he's my brother and I both lived out here and he was my brother's guest, but my brother didn't have a space for him. So he's just like, hey, have him stay at your place. And he's staying at my place, and that's the first thing he says, like, dude, I'm really sorry for being an asshole to you. I'm just like, yeah, it's chill, it's fine, let's smoke some weed. And he comes out of the bathroom, and he's just pale as a ghost, and he's just like, I know I've been like such an asshole to you, but like, and this is so weird, but you're the only person I can come to with this. Like, I just crapped out so much blood. And I don't know what to do, and I'm terrified, and I think I'm dying. Do I have to go to the hospital? And I was just like, this one time I had that happen to me, and it basically, you went to wipe and there was blood, right? It wasn't like you crapped it. He's like, yeah, it's just red blood. I'm like, yeah, that's just the outside of your butt. Oh, yeah. Sometimes when you go to wipe, it's just blood, and you're fine, and nothing's wrong. You don't have to do anything. And next time you poop, there's nothing that's going to go wrong. And he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. And my mom had told me that one time that it happened to me. And I was just like, yeah, no, that's... And so I tell this story to this other guy, and he doesn't believe me. And I'm just like, dude, it'll happen to you. And he's just like, yeah, whatever. And then it happened to him that very next day. And then he's just like, what the hell, man? Like, what did you do? And I'm just like, there's no way I made you crap blood. It just happened, okay?
He's a witch.
Yeah.
You guys left the East Coast because you don't want to be burned at the stake, right?
Yeah.
Shoot. Man. There's boy witches, too.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
They're called... bitches.
Warlock.
What's the longest set time that you've done as a prepared set for something?
As a prepared set?
Yeah.
Probably about 25 minutes, I think.
25 minutes?
One time at an open mic, there was only a couple of us there, and we had a crowd, so we're like, just go as long as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And I just I didn't keep track of it, but like, that felt like kind of a lot more than usual. And he's like, dude, you went for like 42 minutes.
Damn.
Like, shit, all right,
Yeah. Which is kind of long if you're not the headliner. Like tonight... I should have had Ellie go on before you, or even as the opener. But that was her very first time, very nervous and stuff. But like in like my opening, what that was like even 30 minutes or something, and it was just like, do I have to go on that long? Maybe not. You know, I should have had Shannon go on, but then I was hosting, so I couldn't. You know, so it's like, but if we had other comedians on the lineup, it would have been weird for me or for you to have done such long sets, you know, especially if it's like a girl and guy show like we had. And I think Shannon did like 15, and then the two guys do 40 minutes each. It's like, okay, maybe.
Shit, did I go that long? Oh, I kind of, yeah. When I got to the new stuff, I did run a little.
I think
bit.
you did. Yeah, you did. Well, I mean, you weren't running too long or anything, but it's just weird to like how I did so much time up front, you know. But
All right, right. Well, sometimes you do that, you know, hosting just to let people trickle in. You know?
that's what I was specifically doing.
Exactly, because we've had that happen a bunch of times. You know, we do Porta Pints North a lot, obviously Sundays at 7 p.m. And it's so entertaining because it's so different. You know, sometimes you get 2 carloads of you guys show up and we've got a dozen comedians.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like 3 of us.
Yeah.
And like nobody willing to like give it a shot as a newbie. You know, it's so random. Which one nice thing too is like we talked about like the disc golf thing and all these other things coming together. And I had a friend who she like was a kind of a ringleader and got some of the disc golf friends and some of the improv friends and whatever. And we had this like nice little core group all on the front tables, you know, and then our usual people and this and that and some randos. And, you know, that's such an intimate little spot, the Reraw room there, where if you get like 10 to 20 people in there, it feels pretty legit, especially, you know, when they're participating, having a good time.
You got to have a good spot for people to not walk in front of the camera. Because there's no, like, I couldn't find a good spot unless I had a tripod that just put it way up, which I do have one. This one right here that we have the light on, and it just goes up 12 feet. Those are sick, and those are helpful. But I remember when I was doing Porta Pints North at my most recent show over there, my footage it was great. It was a great set. And I just had so many people walking in front of my camera. I was like, God damn.
I know. There's times where I'll use like my phone or whatever. I'll have it like in the sound booth. You know, and that's not very high either, dude. You know, you get somebody who's like 5'6" and they wander by like, well, get the back of so and so's head for a while.
Yeah.
But one time, you know, Drake there actually had a camera set up attached to one of those support, like that post in the middle. So I don't know. There's different ways to skin that cat, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it's been interesting. So what was it? So we had that experience. We had 2 people. Well, no, we had 3 people. 2 of my friends and another person all did their first sets ever. You know, and then we had the 3 of us regulars, and God, who else? I think there was one other. Anyway, but it wound up being just a great experience. One of the gals who went up, she's like, you know, had an experience in theater, and she's like, I've done funny stuff being other people, but it was so much better to do funny stuff just being me.
Yeah.
You know? And so she's like, I'm gonna write a set and show, so we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, you're specifically referencing tomorrow night. You're going to be doing Porta Pints North.
I should be back up there. I've got like a little project in Klamath I got to check on and possibly do a little work on the way up. But yeah, I'll get there in time. Should be fun.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully she comes through and tells some jokes. Yeah. I just tell everybody it's like, you know, for a while there too. I don't know if they still do it, but it was like if you go 5 minutes, you get a drink token. You know what I mean? And it's like,
oh, they do that.
They did. I don't know if they still do. I think they do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, doesn't matter. But
5 minutes is a long time too.
When you're new, but I tell people it's like, hey, you go up there, you introduce yourself. You know that could be a minute, right? Depending on how you know, whether you're riffing on your appearance or talking about where you're from or whatever, you know, some combination. So that's a little bit of time, and then you know, tell a joke, tell a funny story, and then close, and you could kill that 5 pretty easily. You know what I mean?
And it's better for everyone if you just have an extra person go on.
Yeah, and that was the great thing. And all 3 people who are new, they all had a good time. Like I said, the one's coming back. The other one, he had this little short thing, and he ended it at just the right time. He caught everybody. The flow was great. You know, how often do you have rookies go up and like everybody enjoys it? You know, and they quit before it goes dead. You know,
Yeah.
and we have people who are veterans who don't know when to quit. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. The it's there's nothing better than having like at least 6 people on a lineup. Even if like 1 or 2 of them are just the worst comedian ever, it's better than to have a 4-person lineup. I think. I guess maybe I'm incorrect saying that. That's not.
there are pluses and minuses to everything. The bonus of somebody just absolutely bombing is the next person looks awesome.
Yeah.
Even if they're just mediocre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's, and who knows? Maybe that person gets inspired to do better next time. Whatever. There's potential benefits down the road. There's that one right away where the next person look good. You don't want to have 2 shitty ones in a row. That's people walking out. That's clearing the room. But
that's as a comedian, I try to never leave the room because of the scariness of having a room walked.
And sometimes people follow you. Like if I go get a beverage in the other room, maybe one of my buddies comes and talk to me, and then maybe their friend who's there with them just because they're with them comes, and then pretty soon you got 3 people walking out. And like I said, if you only have 10 or 20 to start with.
Yeah. You ever hear the reference calling someone smoke break? Whenever someone, there's smoke break. They're the bad comedian. It's
and
like,
everybody knows, dude.
Skip their set.
I might have seen a few things like that.
yeah, that's always been. What I kind of think though is that like all the different comedians, they make a mix of fish in like the pond of the open mic. There's all the different kinds of comedians that'll come in and. They all make up the whole food web of that area, and some of the fish you're not trying to catch, and some of the fish, you could get too many of a big fish, and that's not good either if it's like the wrong combination, I imagine,
No, I totally get it. I reminded of the last time I was filleting one and it was full of worms. I'm like, oh.
No,
I'm not full, but it had, there were several, and it was gross. I might have cut one of them in half, and it was still alive. I'm like, I'm not eating.
You have to throw away the fish.
I'm not eating this.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Luckily, that's pretty rare, and it's usually just certain kinds of rockfish that are prone to it. So, but nasty. If you did miss one and you cooked it enough too, you wouldn't even know. But I don't like to think about that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Some comedians are wormy. Some and some are just prime. I don't know. But I get what you're saying too, like having a ratio of things where you're building to something. Yeah. It seems to be like pretty common for everybody to do that, where you've got, even if you're just doing 3 guys or gals or whomever, 3 comedians, and you're take that out of context. Last time I was doing 3 guys was back in anyway.
Yeah, that's some big bucks.
Right. And so not in the hair. Anyway, it seems to have, the opener, somebody charge up the room and then bring in the opener and then bring in the next guy and just keep it rolling, Yeah. I like some of those formats where you've got like shorter sets and then you do something afterwards, That's been kind of fun. Where it's some sort of improv-y thing, whether it's answering questions, or whatever, riffing on, like open mics will riff on words and things, just super basic. So
I would love to have like a small audience area of like 8 chairs over here, and I need to get rid of this thing. Just have everything on a center table, and then have an audience area where it's just people can watch. Be quiet, shut up. But this is the show, and then we got the lighting, and just it's a studio, but it's got like a couple tweaks that can make it a real nice studio in here. And aside from doing these. Corner things.
It's off to a good start, man. Like it's a little utilitarian, but that's fine. Like honestly, dude, this is functioning and you're doing something. I dig it.
Yeah, I'm proud of it. Honestly, couldn't do it without my girlfriend. And other people who've like, there's I can't do a whole comedy. I could probably do an hour if I'm like over squeezing the juice from the fruit, and it would be like, okay, I get kind of paying $5, maybe $7 to see that, I guess I could be, with inflation, I'm a $10 show, but without other comedians, without these venues that have worked with me, without people who've believed in me, I'd be nowhere. And this is definitely the product of everyone around me working with me, giving me opportunities, and taking the time to hang out with me just like you are tonight. I'm really glad that you could make it over to do this podcast. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally dig it, man. It's like I said, it's pretty fun. And again, I got that idea. We'll call it the Ro Jogan show.
The Ro Jogan.
And we'll get all the dyslexic celebrities on here, man.
Dude, yeah. This is an open studio. I know it's like kind of far from where you do your stuff, but if you ever need to record a podcast, we can set you up to do this at the drop of a hat. I do want to like make other people's shows happen here too, and
okay.
Depending.
Probably not the stealing, ideas and
we could steal. We could steal. I always say jokes are like kids, If you're not taking care of yours, I'm going to steal them and show them a better life. I'm going to steal your jokes.
Oh man. Yeah, I know, but I do it better. Gosh, I remember. Yeah, you see some stuff. Oh man, whether it's Norm Macdonald picking on Conan O'Brien, just how much time can I eat up in the show before they're not going to make me stop? Make a Shaggy Dog story or something that goes on for 4 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Get to the point.
Nothing new under the sun. No man's an island. There's all the cliches I could throw at you, bro. But I totally get it. Get it. And it's good stuff. Glad we're doing it.
Yeah, no, I love it. I'll have to get you back. We'll be doing another show. You're more than welcome to come and do the next tattoo show that we do. Get a little touch-up done on that, after it's had time to heal, or get some other ones. Maybe we'll be able to get Anthony out from some serious shit that he's dealing with. Love you, Anthony. Hope your situation improves, and there's nothing that Anthony's done to himself that's caused this, but he's definitely some stupid shit's happening that no one wants to have to deal with, and we'll get him out for the next one.
Yep, everybody has life happen and stuff. Just hope everyone's all right.
Yeah, I told him keep up hope. And then, but yeah, you guys been getting any new comedians coming out to stuff? You guys had, I just basically think that's Drake and Rob Smith are the only other comedians up north, right? Is that it?
Those guys and myself have been the most active, besides Anthony. You know what I mean? Obviously.
Yeah.
So, but there was a nice cadre of younger guys, but it seems like almost all of them either moved or have a newborn child. And so they're not doing shit. Jacob's one of them.
Yeah.
I remember there's more than one.
He's just like, I can't do comedy anymore because it's like, okay, you can have 10 minutes once a month to do comedy. If the reason that you're not going to do comedy is because you have a kid, it's like, I'm sure you can get 10 minutes in. He's like, I got to give up the hobby entirely. Give up humor?
Yeah. No, it's what the problem is. If he's doing humor, he's giving up that 15-minute power nap on the couch that he's not going to get,
True,
in between diapers and things.
Yeah.
Shoot. I don't know.
I don't want to bash him. I've only met him a couple times, but hopefully we get him out. And then there's a couple other comedians but it's fun. It's fun getting up there. I had a great time doing Porta Pints. I've had a good time doing Inoteca up there. The times that I've done.
Yep, Daryl and those guys. Love that spot.
Yeah, that's I couldn't do Inoteca without the experience that I have under my belt,
Yeah, it's a little tricky with that room. Get the small stage, and it's a little open. I've seen where comedians from Humboldt came down, and they were almost in the crowd. And so people are talking to them too much. Myself included one time. It was one of the first comedy shows I ever went to, and I was like, somebody's asking a rhetorical question, and you answer him like a drunk dumbass, and it's like, oh, I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah.
It's I could tell by that guy's expression that he did not want me to do that. My bad.
Yeah.
Accidental heckle. Sorry, bro.
I think we're gonna wrap up. Is there any last minute stuff that you'd like to throw in? We don't have to wrap up immediately, but I'm gonna wrap up. Is there anything that you wish to add about the conversation, or future show dates, or when I said this, I meant this, or anything like that? No.
Oh God, some of my stuff it's so random. I'm going to be opening for a guy at Elk Valley Casino in March of next year. You know what I mean? So we'll come back to that.
Yeah. Who are you opening for?
Oh man, I feel like a dickhead because I spaced a little bit looking them up. But
You guys
let's
had
come back.
you guys had Daniel Eachus there tonight. He was just on Comics Unleashed, I think. Man, I'm seeing all these names on Comics Unleashed. It's crazy.
There's been some dudes coming through. There's been so many good shows like coming up lately too, and that was such a surprise. You know what I mean? I just gotta check my notes exactly. So it's been a minute. Total pro. I'm a dickhead for not remembering offhand. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, I've toured in 17 countries. I'm like, oh fuck.
No.
So I have this thing with names. I'm a little bit of an ADD thing. I literally have to meet a guy like 4 times sometimes to like hammer it into my brain. There's a little Swiss cheese up here, man. Whoops.
No, okay.
Anyway, but yeah, so that's a little random. We occasionally have the sketch comedy plays. I know the most recent one, I think it got delayed, right? Which works for me because I've been in the first 2, the sketch comedy experiments with Lighthouse Repertory Theater. Those are kind of fun. I have no idea when the next one is. It's all random because you got writer, director, actors like putting it together. It's all community stuff. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens there. Heck, my kid was in one of those, and right now it's the open mics and it's just random stuff. I get called to open. I opened for Jeff Tate up at Lucky 7. It went really well. It was the biggest room I've ever worked. It seemed like they sold a lot of tickets. I couldn't tell you how many people were in there, but it looked pretty full.
Nice.
And they were having a good time, and I got a buddy recorded some of it and for me, and
It's all about that footage, man. You get the tripod, you get 4K, get that thing as close to you as you can, so this really clear image. And then I haven't really cracked the whole putting a recorder in the middle of the crowd thing too, but you want that, and you merge the two together.
I've seen that done, and it can be great, as long as people freaking show up. Sucks when you set up the mic right in the middle of the crowd and everybody's like in one corner or something, and it's like you get these echoey laughter. Like, are you gonna splice them in later? You know what I mean? Come on, that's not great.
I hate performing in the round too. That's very difficult to do, where you have the crowd on each side of you and in front of you, so you have to look around at everyone. And
Right, and that's part of it, like making a little eye contact and engaging with everybody. But yeah, it sucks when they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Which makes you wonder about those stadium guys. You know what I mean? Like doing those huge shows. I mean, you got to be like running around like in a circle practically to engage with even a quarter of those big crowds. It's freaking crazy.
It's just like, it feels like you're on a spit roast, and just getting just cooked at all
Enough
angles.
about my weekend. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Fucking A. Well, shit, Travis, thanks for coming out. Next time you're in town, we'll do another episode. Anytime you want to roll through. This is, what is it? This is the Humboldt Barnacle. My name's Pete Nelson, and again, we have Travis Cairns. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.
All right. Much love, man. Bye.
What do you mean I didn't record?